What's up everybody, it's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Rosewood Park renovation video. So the house that we're going to be furnishing today is called the Black Rose. This one is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. I turned this house though into a 3-bedroom, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, for whatever reason, y'all, I miscounted. I don't know how, but I feel like this world just has so many hidden houses that I kind of forget. But I thought that this was going to be like the second to last house that I had to furnish. However, there's actually 2 more. So, yeah, I don't know how I forgot about this house. I think it's because it's hidden in the corner, so I just didn't see it with all the trees and stuff, but I'm glad I looked. So, yeah, we have like 2 more to go after this, and then we'll be done with the whole entire island, which I'm really happy about. Now, when I was looking at the outside of this house, it was giving me an old farmhouse vibe, and I've built a couple of old farmhouses on this channel before, and I've also built like some like grandma style houses, and I was like, why don't I kind of combine those 2 ideas together? Because this house kind of reminds me of like a house that you would go to during the holidays to see family. Everyone kind of gathers here, and I kind of just wanted to kind of go into that little, like small town country farmhouse kind of vibe, so I used a lot of the objects from the Sims 3 store that are from the Grandpa's Grove set, the Country Living set. I mean, I used like a lot of other stuff too, but those are like the 2 that I know for a fact that I've used. The first room that we're furnishing, as you can see, is the living room, so I used the old-timey TV from the Generations pack. I put a base game bookshelf in here, and then I used like the chairs and the sofa from the Grandpa's Grove set, and I also used a rug that comes with that pack as well. For whatever reason, the rugs on the Sims 3 store, a lot of them, you can't really change the design of them. You can change the color, but not the design, and I'm like, it's kind of annoying. Sometimes the rug comes in a perfect size, but you can't change the way it looks, so it's kind of annoying. Also, I tried to close this room off so it could be separate, because a lot of like old houses have closed off floor plans, but for whatever reason, I couldn't do it for this room because the stair was in the way, and I didn't really want to move the stairs. So I opened up the hallway and living room, so now you can kind of just like walk freely around the space. So now I'm just kind of furnishing and putting up some old-timey pictures and stuff like that. Luckily, that set comes with some really good items for this kind of build, so I'm kind of glad I was able to use those. After I stopped recording, I went back and I added a little bit more like clutter, so I put like a clock behind the TV. Right now I'm using those base game plants that I rarely ever use. But moving on, this is the first bathroom. So this house has 3 bathrooms, so this is like the biggest one, I would say. It took me a while to figure out how to make this one look. I tried to fiddle with the wallpaper, but that wallpaper makes all print look really small and stretched out. So I decided to just use like this same or like a similar bordered wallpaper as the rest of the house, and then I just like put some birds and tree like pattern on it. I used one of the tubs from the store. I do not remember what set. Maybe it's like the Regal set from the Sims 3 store. That has like a lot of old-timey items too. So I used that one, and I also used these base game counters, which I love them. And then I noticed that this bathroom was a little bit big, so I ended up like closing off one of the walls just to kind of make the bathroom a little bit smaller, and I was able to put a base game toilet in here. I did, however, go back and I recolored like the wallpaper where I like, boarded it off. I put some brick, and then I like colored the floor at the bottom kind of black, just so it doesn't stand out. Like, you'll know it's still there, but you won't really notice it as much. I also put a base game sink in here. I put a base game mirror, and then I used one of those base game circular rugs. I used them in like all my builds, but it's just like a perfect shape, and on top of that, you can like recolor it and stuff like that. But that's pretty much everything for this bathroom. I was really trying to figure out like what kind of Sims would live here. Like, I know they're an older couple, but I was like, what kind of Sims are them? And then I noticed that this house has a greenhouse, and I was like, oh, I got ideas. So the wife that lives here, she loves to garden. She was more like a homemaker, just at home, cooking, cleaning, that kind of thing, taking care of her daughter and stuff like that. But she had this greenhouse, and it's amazing. She has like a lot of plants in there, and she made her like a lot of money on the side from like making preserves and like selling flowers and stuff like that. So we have like a whole entire like greenhouse section to get to. And then the dad is a retired politician, and he also was like a volunteer firefighter. So I can't wait to show y'all the room that's basically like dedicated to him. But moving on, this is the bedroom. I think this will be their bedroom, like the old couple, because like they're old. I don't really think they want to keep going up and down the stairs as much. So I feel like this used to be a guest room, but they're like slowly in the process of moving their stuff in here, kind of. So we have like that nice little painting from the Seasons pack that has like all the plants on it. We also have like this dresser from the movie stuff pack. I don't think I've ever really used this before, and it looks super old-timey, so I was like, it has to go in here, like, obviously. I ended up putting like a little computer desk in here as well, even though, the grandpa is retired. He's not really working anymore. anymore. He still likes to keep up with stuff that's going on, you know, in the world and maybe like in the political space. So I gave him like a little old-timey computer, so if he needs to get up in the middle of the night to check something, he can do it. I also ended up putting a bookshelf in the corner. I was going to use that spooky looking one, but I was like, maybe that's a little bit too much. So I used like this one. I think that's from World Adventures, I want to say. And then I ended up putting like a couple of chairs in here just to kind of have like a little sitting area. And then that's pretty much it for this room. I did, however, go back off camera and I added some lamps in here just to kind of brighten up the space a little bit. I did go back and I replaced all the light fixtures in this house because, as you can see, they use those little light bulb lights. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all, those are like my favorite lights. They're CC, but they're so good because they just make the room bright enough, if that makes sense. Like, it's not too bright, not too dim, it's just bright enough. I think I used like the one, I forgot what set, maybe it's like the Regal set. I ended up using like these old-timey lamps and stuff, so I thought that looked kind of cool. As you can see right now, this is just like the grandparents' bathroom, so it's like an ensuite. It's kind of funny though because like I could imagine that the grandma made matching bed sheets for the wallpaper in the bathroom so everything could match. Kind of moving backwards now, so I'm going back in the hallway just to kind of put some more clutter because it was looking really empty. So I put like a dresser, a chair. I ended up putting like another chair off camera, and then now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the kitchen, which admittedly is really awkwardly shaped. I feel like the kitchen is like really big, so I was trying to like figure out how to furnish this. So at first I was gonna use like those cottagey countertops, but then I was like, no, CJ, use the ones from that like vineyard set on the Sims 3 store. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a vineyard set. So I ended up using those instead, and I used the matching stove and the matching fridge to go with it. And then I knew for a fact that I had to use the baker's stand. I had to use that somewhere, y'all. I just had to, okay? So I ended up squeezing that in here as well. And then I have the kitchen, like, I don't know what it is, y'all, but like I've been in like a corner kitchen mood for months now. Like, all of my kitchens and all of my Sims houses are always like bunched up in the corner. I don't know why, but I think it looks kind of cozy, and I feel like for a house like this, it's kind of, I guess, realistic. I don't know, I feel like a lot of old houses had really big kitchens, but for me and my Sim build, I'm gonna say this is accurate, right? So so as you can see, the corner, I'm using like the base game upper cabinets because this set did not come with any. I ended up recoloring the wallpaper off camera. I was fiddling around with the floor for a while, and then I ended up going back after I recorded to put a rug in the kitchen because I kind of felt like it needed one. So I put like this nice floral print rug. I ended up using one of the old-timey coffee machines from the Supernatural pack. I ended up putting a microwave in here too just because. And honestly, looking back, I should have put a range hood above the stove. I might still do that if I remember. I might do it. You know what? I'm probably gonna use like the matching range hood to go with it just to kind of, you know, put something above the stove because I don't know, I like to like clutter up my kitchens a lot. Oh, I also did not want to forget to put the trash can, so I remembered that. And then moving on, I kind of wanted this to be like the dining area. It's kind of big, as y'all can see. So it took me a while to figure out what table. Y'all know I usually default to the table from the pets pack, but I was like, no, CJ, we gotta break the cycle. So I ended up using like this old-timey like cottagey farmy like table. I think it's from like the greenhouse set on the Sims 3 store. It's from one of them sets, I don't know. So I ended up using that, and then I ended up using a couple of the chairs from the Country Living set. If it's not the Country Living set, it's like the Grandpa's Grove set. I was going to use those Province chairs that you just saw me recolor, but I was like, they don't really look that good for here, so I used these instead, and I just recolored them a little bit. I ended up using the bookshelf from the Grandpa's Grove set because it looked really cute in here. And then I realized that when I turned the camera around that there was just so much extra space in this kitchen. I was like, what the heck am I going to put here? Then I thought about the fact that we have these really big like Hutch china cabinets, so I was like, ooh, we can definitely put those in here. So I think they come from they're either base game or they're like ambitions. I can't remember, but I ended up using both of those in here just to kind of like make the space a little bit more like smaller, if that makes sense, just to kind of fill in the space a little bit more. And I ended up using one of the chairs from the pets pack just to kind of, you know, fit in with the, you know, like the country southern rustic kind of vibe, you know. And then I also put like that little rack. It has like a little gravy moat on it and some other little clutter, so I thought that was kind of cute in here as well. And that's pretty much like everything for the kitchen. And then moving on, this is the greenhouse. So I was like, ooh, I know I have to like clutter this up with a bunch of plants. So I was looking for the longest time for the Swift Grow Pro Station, and I really wanted to use that in here because if you don't know, it's like a really cool store content item. It basically waters your plants for you, and you can also like fertilize plants with them. You could talk to your plants, like a bunch of plants at one time, so it's kind of broken, but for whatever reason it did not fit in here because it was a little bit too big, so I couldn't use it. So I opted for the harvest stand from the Sims 3 store. I used that in here as well. Again, like the grandma is selling her plants and her produce in here, you know, just to kind of make some extra money. I did want to go and put a whole bunch of plants in here though, so put a whole bunch of those. Also found like these vines. They're custom content, but they come like with the world with all the CC. So I was like, ooh, I could put a couple of vines in here to kind of make it look a little bit more natural and overgrown kind of. And then I noticed when I was taking screenshots that the outside of the house has the same vine growing outside. I was like, ooh, that's a nice touch. Like, I didn't even plan on that, but I was like, you know what? I could imagine that maybe through some little crack or hole in the wall or the glass or something, maybe like some plants have started growing inside of the greenhouse. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool. I did, however, find these little planter boxes. They are custom content, but they're like so small and square. I think they might be functional. If they're not, I ended up putting like some normal planter boxes in case you wanted to, you know, plant something in here. I also used that really big Into the Future rug. If you don't know, y'all, you can actually grow harvestables on that rug. So I ended up using it just in case you wanted to grow harvestables in here if you played. So I kind of recolored it a little bit to kind of make it not so green. But moving on upstairs, this is the first bedroom. So this is like the kid's bedroom. You know, the couple, they have a daughter. She like moved out years ago when she has her own family and stuff. But you know, this is like her old room when she was like a kid and teenager and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted this to be like 80s inspired, but like not super 80s themed. You know what I mean? We have like the floral wallpaper. We have the butterfly bed sheet. We have like an old timey animal like nightstand. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that she has is probably like hand-me-downs from older family members. So even though it was the 80s, it was really still old. So we have like a really old armoire. We have some really nice flower rugs from Generations. I ended up putting some of those in here as well. And then I was trying to like find stuff to put that wouldn't really look too high-tech. So I found an old-timey record player. I put like a little horse calendar up. I think that painting comes from the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack. So I wanted to put that in here as well. And then I found a whole bunch of stuffed animals. So I was like putting a bunch of them in the corner just to kind of have like, you know, some toys and stuff. And then I was trying to figure out what else I could put in here, and I was like, maybe a room divider, but I was like, no. And then I found this desk. It's one of the ones from the Sims 3 store. It's like the animal like set or whatever. And then I ended up using that one in here, and I thought it was kind of nice. I ended up also using the desk from the Generations pack, and I put like an old-timey computer, and then I ended up putting like the chair from Generations and this nice hanging chair as well, because I thought it would look kind of cool. You know, maybe she got that when she was like a teenager or something. And then moving on, this is the second bathroom. I was trying to like figure out what to do with this bathroom, so I was like, maybe we could just kind of make it basic. So I kind of went for more of a brownish color scheme, you know. I used a mid-century sink, and I also used the toilet from the Pets pack. So the bathroom isn't really anything too special, you know, just kind of like a basic bathroom. And then moving on, we have another bedroom. So I kind of feel like this one was like the parents' old bedroom, you know. They just swapped beds, but this is like their old bedroom. So it's very like greenish, yellowy. I kind of like that color scheme for this house, so I kind of went with it for a lot of the rooms. So for this one, we just have like the old-timey bed. I think it's from the mid-century set. I can't remember what set that comes with, but it's like one of the older sets. I used like the Hughesman dresser, this really big mirror. I had it across from the bed, but then I was like, why don't I just like move it in the corner of the room? So I ended up moving it. I put like these really old-timey like lamps in here because I was like, yeah, that's definitely something they would have used. And then I found like this really cool painting, so I ended up putting that one over there in the corner, and I used one of the base game chairs to kind of put in here. And also off camera, I did add some more paintings to this room because I kind of felt like the walls were a little bit bare. It's kind of interesting though, because I don't really realize how little I like put pictures up on the wall sometimes until I go to take screenshots, and I'm like, well, CJ, where are all the pictures at? Where are all the paintings? I notice it especially in the bathrooms, so sometimes I'll go back and like add stuff just so it can be a little bit more furnished. So I did that for this bedroom and like the bathroom that we just left from. So yeah. Oh, and I also found this really nice bookshelf. I forgot what set that comes with, so I ended up swapping the bookshelf and the mirror around like I said earlier, but I thought that looked kind of cool though to kind of have it like across from the bed like that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for this bedroom. I did put like another chair to kind of just go across from the mirror. And then this is the last room. So this is the grandpa's like old office, because you know he used to be a politician. He would probably have like a whole lot of citizens from Rosewood Park coming in here asking him about things or telling him about stuff. And I feel like he kind of used to hold just meetings in here too with like, you know, his, you know, subordinates and stuff like that. So I wanted to like have this kind of look kind of fancy in a way. So I put like really big bookshelves from the Pets pack. I put a couple of these base game chairs in here. I was looking around the catalog to kind of find like some nice awards and stuff like that, so I found some from university. I put an end table underneath these paintings, and I put like some trophies and stuff on it. I also have like a little coffee table in the corner with some magazines on it. Maybe that's like his little waiting area. And I ended up putting like a plant in the corner as well. And then I was looking around and I found like this really nice fireman plaque from the Ambitions pack, and I was like, ooh, we have to put that in here too, because you know he is a volunteer firefighter, you know. But anyway, y'all, that is pretty pretty much everything for this video. If you want to download this, I will leave a link down below, but if you want to wait, I am going to release the whole entire save file for this world, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!